be like a seasonal marriage, like during football season, we're not married, so not give bad luck toward Giants.
He should be going at the beginning of the third round, I would say.
He should be going to beginning of the third round.
Let me correct that. Hold on. Leonard Fournette.
No.
If he plays a full 16,
No.
you don't take him. Delvin Cook.
No.
Melvin Gordon.
No.
Oh, yeah. So then we totally just.
How did it feel losing that game of pool to me?
All right, Brain. You don't like me and I don't like you. Well, let's just do this and I can get back to killing you with beer.
You are now tuned into the Better Fantasy Bureau podcast.
This place is an untapped resource.
I love it!
With your host, Flex and Bliss.
You must think I'm pretty stupid.
I'm dangerous. I'm very, very dangerous.
And Charlie Chase.
You're very good, you.
You're goddamn right he is.
For the everyday fantasy sports player.
You just blew my mind.
Now, I am going to teach some kids a lesson.
They're a bunch of fucking amateurs.
And now, on with the show, Party People.
What's up, party people? Welcome. Let's go. We're back with episode 2.
Episode 2. First one was a hit.
First one did well.
Yeah.
According to people, what they saying.
Yeah. It was.
It was just last
better
week.
than expected, let's say.
Better than what we expected. Yeah. Well, just last week we had episode 1. Now we're back with episode 2. We're so excited about this, Charlie. I'm here. Yeah, a lot of your friends and family are saying good things about the first episode, right?
Yeah, response has been great. Friends, family, they've checked it out. They subscribe to the YouTube channel. So far so good. Couldn't ask for a better first episode.
Absolutely. I've had my I want to give a shout out to my boy Vinny Ashton. He personally called me up and he said, "Listen, I want to tell you more personally instead of just texting to you. I wanted to actually tell you that it was a really good podcast." Even my boy Andy, who busts my chops all the time, and he said, "Yo, it was actually really good." And I'm having people saying that it sounded, real professional, and our stats. I have a lot of family that likes it. So once again, shout out to everybody that's subscribing. All my peoples that showed me they subscribed. My boy Ruben, my boy Bill, my boy Rich, Kento, and everybody. So we really, really appreciate this from my boy Nick. Appreciate it. Everybody want to give a shout out?
Appreciate all the love.
You want to shout out anybody?
Oh yeah, I mean, friends and family. I'm not going to name drop on the pod, but
okay.
But yeah, the response has been great so far.
So this just means that when you're my friend, I show more love than you would. Is what
no,
you're
that's
saying.
not true.
It's fine. It's fine because it's the New York
the Jet fans were mad.
It's the Giant way. It's the
Jet
New York
fans are
Giant
mad.
way.
My cousin Joe, my brother. They were all mad. They didn't get a shout out. But,
Okay, but now they do. But it's the New York Giant way to go show love. It's like that, Just real quick, though, talking about shout-outs, one person I do want to give a shout-out to because he said this. So I was talking to my father today. I was talking to my father. He goes like, "Hey, you got to go and mention about how much of a great dad you have." And I told him.
In that voice, too?
Yeah, that's my voice to make fun of my father. He's real, blue-collar type guy. So he's like, "You got to mention to people how much of a great dad you got." And I was like, "Well, I need a great dad to begin with." Boom! Oh, burn!
Zinga, got him.
Nah, but my dad really, he's like my best friend. I love my father. Of course, my wife's my best friend, of course. And he understands that. And my wife, Anita,
I met your dad at your wedding. He's a cool guy. That's the first time I ever met him.
Yeah. No, and he's
cool.
He's really is. And I love busting my dad's chops. He takes a joke really well. That's kind of where I got my sense of humor from. Was my father.
Is your dad a Giant fan also?
Yeah, he's a Giants fan.
Man.
He likes football in general. He played football a little bit, but he likes sports in general for the most part. But yeah, he roots for the Giants, But it's similar because like him and his girlfriend, he's a Yankee fan. His girlfriend's a Met fan. Same thing with me and my wife. I'm the Yankee fan. She's the Met fan. That's where the house becomes divided. So me and my wife, it's almost coming up to my 1 year anniversary.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, we just yesterday we had our 10-month anniversary.
Yeah, your wedding was when? It was
September 9th.
September 9th. Yeah.
Yeah, happily married, and I know that because she told me.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. That was the day before week 1 of the NFL season.
And this day is going to be on week 1.
Yeah.
And
we remember what happened on week 1.
It's fine, but when I propose, listen, my wife and I, it's funny. We make
sure you.
It's just shut up. My wife and I, we make jokes. It's funny because. I remember my boy Zimmel even said it as soon as the Giants lost. He goes like, the Giants are 0-1 since Flex and Anita got married. And then they went to like 4 straight losses. So we always talked about like, is there like a way we could get like a seasonal marriage? Because they're, the Giants were here first. Even though we've been friends for over 15 years, since high school. But the Giants were here first. We try to talk about maybe like a seasonal marriage, like during football season. We're not married, so not give bad luck toward Giants because once again, that's how dedicated we are as Giants fans because we're dedicated. Unlike, yeah.
I don't know about that. Anyway, how your 4th was good? I haven't seen you since the 4th.
I worked.
Oh, you worked on the 4th.
Yeah, I worked.
All
Which
right.
is fine. It wasn't so bad. I usually have a barbecue in my backyard. But how was your 4th?
It was good. I saw some family. I went and see my mom. She's leaving for Europe for 2 months, so it was good to spend some time with her.
That's all. I know when you grill, do you use propane or do you use charcoal?
Oh, propane.
You're a propane guy.
Yeah, charcoal gets a little too messy.
You're like a Hank Hill guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever that means, but yeah, I guess.
Oh my God! You don't know who Hank Hill is?
So 4th was good.
What am I gonna do with you?
I got caught up on some shows. Finally got to see the Gotti movie,
How was that?
which everybody was trashing. I mean, it wasn't a great movie, but it was better than I thought it would be. It wasn't as good as the original. The one that came out, I think, in the mid-'90s.
I didn't see it.
That was a little
I
bit
didn't even
better.
see it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I mean,
it wasn't a great movie, but
I'm a
it
huge
wasn't as
movie
bad.
buff, but I really didn't see
Yeah.
that original one.
Yeah.
That's
Give
all
it a
right. Just to give everybody everybody that's listening to us and that does continue to support us once again because we are just starting off. We really can't. Charlie and I cannot thank you enough for all of your support that you've been showing us. It has been tremendous and amazing. And don't worry, we're going to give you all that love back in return. Just to let you know, we are now live on iTunes, Spotify,
Stitcher,
Google Play.
Google Play. We have the YouTube.
And the YouTube channel, right? That's where we're. So for the moment, that's where you can.
And we should be on SoundCloud by this week. SoundCloud.
We should be. You should be. And amongst an iHeartRadio, we're going to be coming up on there soon. So and amongst other channels.
I mean, pretty much every platform where you get your podcast will be on there. So
yeah, but please, just to
hit that subscribe button.
Subscribe, absolutely.
Yeah,
subscribe.
important.
Watch on YouTube. Subscribe on YouTube.
Yeah.
Leave a like. Leave a comment. Leave a comment.
Yeah.
On iTunes.
Leave a
for
comment,
us.
even if you don't agree with what we're saying. We'd love to hear feedback. Don't be shy to leave those comments.
Yeah, we're gonna get a couple of those.
Be careful what you wish for, right?
Yeah, it's all right. Like I said, we got a good sense of humor. So another thing too, which is new for us, is that now we have a voicemail.
Yes.
So now we have a voicemail in which you, the fans and the supporters, could call us up and could leave us a question. So leave us a question that we could answer to you, or you could text us also on that voicemail number. You could also text us. And we could maybe one day in the future we get enough of those. We'll play it on your show. You'll play your question on the show. We'll give you a quick shout out. So to give you that number, it's going to be 856-369-0461. All right. So you'll see it, and if you're watching on YouTube, you'll see it there on your screen. Call us 856-369-0461. You ready to get started with the show, Charlie?
Let's do it.
All right, let's do this, Brutus. Okay, so today what we're gonna tackle, which I feel, and maybe see if you agree with me or not, one of the more bigger problems or questions that they have is running backs in the show, right?
Right.
All right. So let's go on. Let's talk about the running backs on the show. No, wait. Before that, we got repeat and retreat. See, you're rubbing off on me from last week.
Repeat and retreat. My notes are on point. I don't know what you're talking about.
You know what? I could have played it off a lot better. I could have really just said we're talking about running backs, but first, and I could have went back. I'm not that smart. You know me. All right. So first, to start it off with a little mini warm up segment where we're gonna have repeat or retreat. Okay. So basically, what this basically is saying is that we're gonna talk about players that we feel are either going to repeat the success they had last year or they're going to retreat. They're going to, go back from it.
Take a step back.
If you think about it, it's kind of weird, though, the word retreat, because to retreat means to, like, run away from, right? But if you're retreating someone or something, right, like, you're going to treat them again. Isn't that kind of weird? Think about it. Yes? No?
Yeah, you lost me on that one, Flex. But yeah, I guess.
Keep up. I'm not talking fast. You're listening slow. All right, so let's start it off with repeat or retreat.
Oh, you got it right.
Repeat or retreat.
All right, thank you very much there, Ava, our spokesperson. So to start it off with repeat or retreat, once again, these are players that we are asking about if they're either going to repeat the success or retreat from the success they had last year. If we don't talk about a player that you wanted to hear about, please, like I said, call us, text us, DM us at BFB Podcast, tweet us at Podcast BFB, anytime you like, okay? So, Charlie, I'll start off asking you the questions first.
Yes. Shoot.
Repeat or retreat for a wide receiver that I'm a fan of. I've been a fan of for a long time. Larry Fitzgerald. Repeat or retreat?
Larry Fitz, the ageless wonder.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Larry Fitzgerald, he's always an interesting fantasy player. He's always, last year he was 4th in PPR scoring, which put him ahead of people like, believe it or not, Julio Jones, A.J. Green, and Adam Thielen,
I believe it.
among others, which is kind of crazy. Like last year when we were having our drafts, you were always very hesitant about drafting Fitzgerald, and the guy produces every single year. I mean, if you look at what he's done since turning 30, he's caught 470 balls for 5,132 yards and 23 touchdowns. I mean, usually when wide receivers hit 30, they start to fall off a cliff. And,
most
and
football players do. Running backs
especially running backs.
Yeah, but I hear what you're saying.
But, I mean, this guy's getting better. And I mean, if you look at his 2015 stats, 109 receptions on 145 targets for 1,215 yards, 9 touchdowns. 2016, 107 receptions on 150 targets, 1,023 yards, 6 touchdowns. Last year, 109 receptions, 161 targets for 1,156 yards and another 6 touchdowns. I mean, that's legit production. I think, what he's done in his career that's allowed him to, play at this level is that, he realized that he wasn't going to be the best athlete on the field anymore, and he learned how to play out of the slot. Now, to play out of the slot, it takes a great football mind. Like you're able to read defenses. Your route running has to be precise, and he's done that. So I think I don't see any reason why Larry Fitzgerald can't repeat his performance from last year. I mean, think about it now. He's going to have Bradford or Josh Rosen under center, and honestly, I don't really think it makes a difference because let's say it's Rosen, young quarterback on the center. He's going to check down a lot, and to have that veteran wide receiver presence as a safety blanket, I just think the targets are going to be there. So for me, Larry Fitzgerald is a strong repeat.
Yeah, I agree with you on that on across the board on a lot of ways, and I used to disagree with you on a lot of things in life, but that I really do agree with you, and especially because even last year, I mean, Carson Palmer has been a really solid quarterback for most of his career. But, when you have like Drew Stanton under there, and then he's even had like some shady quarterback play along the way, and he's Larry Fitz. I mean, he was at one time one of the best wide receivers in the game, kind of went to like that mediocre level. He went to that mediocre level for a little bit.
Yeah.
And now he's reemerged himself because he's just a smart, dedicated
he's
athlete.
Sort of reinvented himself.
Absolutely. No, I agree with you there across the board.
Yeah, so Larry Fitz, definitely a repeat for me. Okay, so I have someone for you.
Talk to me.
This is actually one of the more interesting players going into this year's fantasy season, and I'm curious to see your take on it. Now, last year he only played 7 games and was on pace to shatter the rookie record for passing touchdowns until, unfortunately, he got hurt. And I think you know who I'm talking about. Mr. Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson.
Your take on Deshaun.
Now,
he's going.
It's definitely, as you said, he's interesting. I know it's definitely said interesting.
Yeah.
I know what he's going as.
I know
QB too. I know it's definitely me what he's going as. And it's definitely an interesting take because I have to say retreat. And I have to say retreat because I do not feel, and I'm not to say that he's going to be bad. I say retreat because I don't see that there's any way that he could repeat what he did last year.
Yeah.
Right now, especially right now, he's going as quarterback 2. Okay, he's going as the first pick in the 5th round. I feel that he just has to retreat. I love the guy, but he can't keep that up for the whole season. I don't feel it's phenomenal. So he completed 61.8% of his 204 passes. 61.8%. That's amazing. His game is when you break down his games last year, it was sick. He was throwing 16 touchdowns in his last 4 games, a total of 19 touchdowns before he went down. And in those 4 games, he averaged a killer 31.3 fantasy points per game on those last 4 games. It was a killer. Now, you got to understand, this is his second ACL surgery in the last 3 years.
Yeah, he tore it in college.
Exactly. So he's got one on each leg, all right? Like, I still think he's going to be a stud. I really do, especially if he stays healthy. But I will more than likely not be drafting Deshaun Watson. More than likely, the way that I see myself drafting Deshaun Watson, and this is one we leagues before by going to strategy, is unless I'm already balanced out in other positions. Like, if I have like a stud running back or wide receiver in the first round, I take, if I have a stud running back in the first round with a stud wide receiver in the second round, and then I take a stud tight end in the third round, I got somebody in each position filled out. And since I say he's going in the fifth round, maybe I'll take him late fourth, mid fourth, if I already have my other positions already filled. And if Aaron Rodgers, of course, is gone, then maybe I'll take him. But with ACL injuries is already a hard thing to
but
overcome.
ACLs are not as hard as they were to bounce back from. You know what I mean? Like, it's not.
No.
Yeah.
No, I don't know what you mean. I'm saying.
Well, I mean, look, ACL injury like 10 years ago, that it was another thing. Now with the way medicine has advanced and everything like that, I think it's a lot easier to bounce back.
Yeah, you used to die from a common cold back in the days, but it doesn't mean it's still not a serious injury.
No, it is a serious injury, but I'm saying
twice within 2 years.
Yeah. Well, no, I think it was
the second one been within 2 years. What I mean, excuse me, the second one within 2 years. That's a lot, and one on each leg now.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's really high, but especially when there's so many quarterbacks in this league, it's really high for him. So once again, I still think he's going to have a great season. If you're willing to pay that price for him, I'm not going to say no to it because somebody's going to pay that price in your league. But I say he has to retreat. So he's still going to do great, but lower your expectations. To keep moving on, Charlie, so another guy that I want to ask you about repeat or retreat is one guy that I was big on last year, especially last year when I did all my mock drafts. That fourth-round pick was really tough for me, and I really wanted to grab this guy in the fourth round I was looking at, is Travis Kelce. So talk to me about Travis Kelce. Is he going to repeat or retreat?
Travis Kelce. So Kelce has a ADP of 3.06, so right in the middle of the third round. So he's the second tight end off the board after Gronk, ahead of Zach Ertz. That's basically where he's going in pretty much every draft that I've seen so far. Now, I think he was the number one in PPR formats last year, scoring 233.5 points, 83 receptions on 123 targets with 8 touchdowns. Now, here's why I think it's an easy repeat for Travis Kelce.
Oh, so you say repeat?
Yeah.
Nice.
100%, I think.
Okay.
And you got to look at the position of tight end. I mean, like after those first 3 tight ends, there's a significant drop-off. And I just don't see how he just doesn't produce these numbers. I mean, with Pat Mahomes at quarterback, I see a lot of checkdowns to Kareem Hunt. I know how you feel about Kareem, but also to Travis Kelce. Like that's that, security blanket for a young quarterback is your tight end. So I just don't see how he doesn't repeat those numbers. They also signed Sammy Watkins, who, if anything, we know that the guy could run. He's a burner. They have Tyreek Hill on the other side, who's a freak athlete. He's going to draw attention. I just think that the middle of the field is going to be open for him, and he's going to, if he gets another 123 targets, there's no way that he doesn't repeat those numbers.
So you're saying, because remember, with Travis Kelce last year, he was first in targets, he was first in receptions. It is for all tight ends I'm talking about. He was first in targets, first in receptions, and second in receiving yards, and he was third in overall touchdowns for tight ends.
Right.
You're saying he repeats that.
Yeah. I don't see how he can't.
I could definitely see how he can. I love Travis Kelce, but I totally disagree with you. Now, I don't say that he falls out of the top 10 or even the top 5. But I do believe that
there's no way he falls out of the top 5.
There is of course there could be a way. Absolutely, there could be a way. Of course,
I don't see it. He's too talented.
No. It's nothing. You. It's like I said last week. If you didn't listen to last week's episode, listen to what I said about it. Jimmy Graham is very talented, but in that system, they don't use tight ends, so he's not going to make the top 10 for me, Jimmy Graham.
But the system hasn't changed.
Matt Nagy, yes, it has. Matt Nagy's not there no more. It's a new offensive coordinator. All right, well, it's a new offensive coordinator with Matt Nagy, and he loved his tight ends. He's now in Chicago. That's why he's taking over for Trey Burton. And not even that, it's just with Pat Mahomes, I told you he's a gunslinger of a quarterback. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I'll look this up to see if I'm right, but I do believe that he threw a 75-yard touchdown pass in the combine or in the warm-ups or a quarterback, whatever it was. He slings it. He's got a strong arm.
He's got a big arm.
And like you said, with signing Sammy Watkins, which I'm not scared about Sammy Watkins, but also with that, and also with Tyreek Hill, with Kareem Hunt catching, and Spencer Ware back now in. I'm not saying that he's still not going to be good. I think he's still going to be within the top 5, maybe. But I do see him definitely retreating. So, I mean, that's your take on it. I hear you. But because of new implications in the system, I would still take him. Sorry, maybe do it real quick. I would still take him like as a second overall tight end because, like you said, he is talented, and because there's such little tight ends to really trust there. So I would still, if you took Zach Ertz over him, I wouldn't be upset about that. But
I'm not taking Zach Ertz.
I wouldn't either.
I
wouldn't. But I'm just saying,
honestly, you could make an argument that you'll take Kelsey over Gronk.
Yeah, you could. You could 100% make that argument. I'm just saying, if you took Ertz,
I wouldn't be mad at anyone for doing that.
No, but if you took Ertz over Kelsey, I don't think you're retarded for that. You know what I mean? I don't think you're stupid for that.
No.
So yeah. But a repeat for you. Okay, I disagree, but a repeat for you. So this is where we're bumping heads a little now.
Repeat.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So one last player here on for this segment.
Mm-hmm.
So Adam Thielen last year exceeded expectations. I was really big on him last year, and he did not disappoint. So he's also another interesting player heading into the season because he could be a legitimate WR1. So your take on Adam Thielen?
Adam Thielen. Repeat. No rinse, no wash. Repeat. Just repeat. I'm not saying that because I have him in a keeper in my league. I'm not saying that. That's the reason why. And I do have him a keeper in one of my leagues, in my amateur hour league. Shout out to GMS once again. But I say that he repeats because Adam Thielen's only gotten better over the years. He's only just gotten better. For the past 3 years, he just kept improving. He went so 4 years ago is when he started, but then 3 years ago, so going for 3 years ago, he had 35 total fantasy points. Then the next year, he had 197 fantasy points. And then last year, he had 243.8 fantasy points. I get it. There's a new offensive coordinator because now my Giants got Pat Shermer, which I'm very happy about. There's a new offensive coordinator in John DiFilippo. You're the Italian here. Did I say that right?
DiFilippo.
DiFilippo. Oh, this guy. Good job, Charlie. Good job. This freaking guy. So we got a new offensive coordinator in John DiFilippo, and he just won a Super Bowl with the Eagles. He was with the Eagles, but granted he was there as his quarterback coach, but he still won a Super Bowl with them. So
can we refrain from giving the Eagles love on this podcast?
No, we can't. We could do that outside. We're talking fantasy football. We have to put our things aside, all right? But I still don't love you, Cowboys. Anyway, so to go on, but he learned a lot under Doug Peterson. Okay, I learned from my mistake last week. I said Peterman. I fixed that. But from Doug Peterson, he learned a lot. He's a very offensive-minded coach. So I mean, John DiFilippo was also an offensive coach years before, but now, like I said, he was a quarterback coach when he won the Super Bowl, and now he's got a better quarterback in Kirk Cousins. Last year, Adam Thielen ended up as the wide receiver 8, and he's projected right now to be the wide receiver 10. I still see him to be a top 10 wide receiver. And I just love Adam Thielen across the board. I still think he's going to do great, and he's going to be just fine. So
yeah,
that's what I see from him.
Got Cousins slinging him the ball now.
Yeah.
Can you believe Kirk Cousins is the highest paid player in the NFL?
Yeah, I can, man. Nowadays, inflation is a real thing, bro.
Yeah.
All right, so
sure is.
So moving on right now, party people, moving on right now, we're going to start talking about the main topic of the day, which is a high question that people usually ask a lot about, and that is running backs.
Running backs.
Running backs. Ready to go on to running backs, Charlie?
Let's do it, man.
Running backs.
Running back. So I know this is a big question every year for everybody because they feel like they're so depleted on running backs. Now, when you listen to our draft strategy show coming up soon, I'll explain a little bit more about how I feel about that theory. But at the end of the day, there are less running backs than wide receivers, or usable running backs, wide receivers, and they get injured more. So understand. So we're going to go talk about running backs, and the way we're going to do it on this show real quick is that we're going to do it for every 2 rounds. So to start off here for basically rounds 1 and 2, we're not going to really talk about the top 5 guys because you know the top 5 guys already.
Yeah, not much analysis there.
Yeah, we're not going to give. Well, there's analysis to give. Yeah. We're not going to give.
But we will touch on that on draft strategies.
Yeah,
like we think is
we'll touch on that coming
why.
up. Yeah, in the future, we're not going to touch about that too much now. So to move on, but a little bit more running backs, a little bit more. I guess questionable, but one top guy that I do want to touch on real quick is Alvin Kamara, if you allow me. So Alvin Kamara is somebody I want to touch on because to me, he gives me the most anxiety. He gives me the biggest worries, Alvin Kamara, because I think he's going to do fantastic. I think he's going to do great, but I don't know if I want to spend that much money on him. I don't know. Like, he makes me nervous because he could still go down. Now, last year he was being drafted in the 12th round as running back 52, and this year he's going.
Well, he came out of left field last year.
Exactly. He's going in the first.
He's not surprising anybody this year.
He's going in the first round now as running back 5. my biggest thing when I talk about Alvin Kamara, to let you guys know about him,
ADP of 1.06. Wow.
yeah, lower expectations. Lower your expectations on Alvin Kamara, okay? First of all, to let you know what Sean Payton did say, I know Mark Ingram is out for 4 games. He said it would be a mistake to answer Ingram's suspension by giving Kamara more touches. That would be a mistake.
Yeah, I seen that.
Yeah, so Terrence West is going to be there to help the load off, which I'm not worried about Terrence West taking over at all, but if you look at what Alvin Kamara did last year, it's not like he even needed more touches. With only 120 attempts, Alvin Kamara led the NFL with the most yards per carry.
He was insane.
With a whopping 6.1. Okay? I don't think he could sustain that. The only running back that has the most yards per carry in his career is Jamal Charles with 5.4. But 6.1s, I don't know if he could sustain. First of all, Alvin Kamara is the best keeper this year, which screw you, Ferg.
He was a nightmare in daily last year.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
Every week you're saying to yourself, he can't do it again. He can't do it again. And every week he was just putting up, 25, 30 DraftKings points. It was crazy.
Yeah, if you have him as a keeper, you're already going real. But you're got a good start. Just to let you know though, sophomore slump to me, it is a real and it isn't a real thing. But this is why I'm a little bit worried taking him so high. So, because it's like Sean Watson, what I was saying. I don't think he's not going to be bad, but I just don't think he could keep doing that. So just to let you know a little bit more about the sophomore slump. On an average, when a rookie running back finishes in the top 10, he drops in his sophomore year 8 spots. That's on average, to let you know. Sometimes way worse. Just to give you some real quick pointers so you could go by guidelines. Just let me finish this real quick. We'll move on. Doug Martin, he was RB2 in his rookie year. His sophomore year, RB54. Matt Forte was RB3 his rookie year. Sophomore year, RB18. Trent Richardson was running back 9, and he ended up as running back 34 his sophomore year. And examples where that doesn't happen, Adrian Peterson, he was running back 5, sophomore year, running back 9. All right. Maurice Jones-Drew was running back 8 in his freshman year, and his sophomore year was running back 13. Clinton Portis, the great Clinton Portis, he was running back 4. He ended up being running back 5 in his sophomore year. And a big, 180 turnaround. Chris Johnson, he was just outside the top 10. He was running back 12 in his rookie year. His sophomore year, running back 1. So it's not necessarily
It's a real thing.
Yeah, it could be a real thing, sophomore slump, and it couldn't be. But I just lower expectations about Alvin Kamara. That's all I want to say about him is that lower your expectations.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that one.
Who stuck out to you in the rounds 1 through round 1 and 2?
Speaking of sophomore slumps, Leonard Fournette, he's a real head scratcher for me. He's going. He has an ADP of 1.12. The end of the first round, and I just don't see it. I mean, last year he was the 33rd highest scoring fantasy player in PPR formats with 230.2 points. Now, he finished the year with 1,040 yards on 268 carries with 9 touchdowns with an average per carry of 3.9. But when you go back and you really look at it, the interesting thing is that he had runs of 90 and 75 yards, which made that average yards per carry look a lot better than it really was. If you look at his last 200 carries, he averaged 3.3 yards per carry and saw an average of 7.1 defenders in the box, which was the 8th highest in the league. So, at the end of the year, teams were just stacking the box against the Jaguars. So he's going to see a lot of that again this year. I mean, think about who they lost. I mean, Allen Robinson is now with the Bears. Allen Hurns is with the Cowboys now. I mean, their wide receivers are Marquise Lee, Dante Moncrief, Rashard Green, Dede Westbrook. I mean, I just don't see how, he is going to be able to pay off that high price tag of being, a high draft pick like that. So that stuck out to me. I just don't see Leonard Fournette. He's going ahead of people like he's going ahead of Julio Jones. He's going ahead of Keenan Allen, Delvin Cook, Devontae Freeman, Christian McCaffrey, among others.
So you would take Devontae Freeman over Leonard Fournette?
Yes.
Okay. Once again, this is where I gotta disagree with you.
Yeah.
So
I'm just not big on Fournette at all.
Just off the bat,
yeah.
Who's gonna take touches away from him?
I mean, I don't
exactly.
know. That's still to be determined.
No, but exactly. This is what I'm
saying. They still got Yeldon.
Did you just say Yeldon?
Yeah. What's wrong with TJ Yeldon?
Yeldon's not going to take touches away from Leonard Fournette.
I mean, he had some touches last year
when Leonard Fournette needs a break or he gets benched for whatever reason, but he's not going to take touches away from him.
I mean, look, he just
Leonard Fournette for me, I think it's fine. I hear you, but I understand what you say. I understand your theory. Trust me, I do understand it. But he's got nobody competing for his spot, and not even that. You know what? I love the addition of Andrew Norwell. Andrew Norwell, you know, the biggest guard in free agency who the Giants were looking to get, and we thought we were going to get from the Panthers and Dave Gettleman and all that, and we ended up getting the second best, which is Nate Solder. But Andrew Norwell added him, and he's a guy that you could just leave him alone on an island and he'll protect you. So, Leonard Fournette. Leonard Fournette, that guy's a real man, all right? That guy is going to bull rush everybody. He's a bulldozer.
Right, but he's one of those running backs that he runs to the contact. He doesn't run away from it. You know what I mean? And with that violent of a running style, he might not even make it through a full season. He had an injury history in college.
I hear you.
You know, so I don't know. That's just way too much to invest into your first pick. I mean, you were having anxiety over Kamara at 6.
Yeah, but I have anxiety for Kamara because he has so many other players around him that are going to change what he did and the good things he did last year is going to lower that, and also because he has proven numbers of weeks. And once again, if you didn't know what I said about Alvin Kamara, please tune into last week's show. You could check, look back on it. But he's proven that he could really screw things up. Leonard Fournette was fantastic last year. He did great. And I think he's going to do it again. I would take him at the end of the first. I think he's going fine. I'm high.
You'd be happy with him as your RB1?
Absolutely.
No.
And speaking about being alone on an island, you're probably alone on an island on that one. And if you're not, please let the people speak on your behalf.
Definitely not. Fournette's not getting a lot of love out there.
I don't. I disagree with you on that. Another RB right after Fournette, which you did mention. Let me ask you this: would you take Dalvin Cook over Leonard Fournette?
Yes.
Okay.
I just think that offense is going to be really, really good.
You still think the offense is going to be really, really good?
The Minnesota offense
is
going to be good.
Okay. I agree with you, but not just because of Kirk Cousins, but, in general, I just agree with you. But I do want to touch on Dalvin Cook. Just real quick, because a month ago, head coach Mike Zimmer, he said that he was already ahead of his schedule on rehab. All right. Now, like I said before,
like I said, the ACL is not what it used to be, man.
It's still a major concern with any player in any position, but he's going in the second round as the first pick. He's going as RB10. It's a little bit high for me, but I still do believe and I still do trust in Dalvin Cook. Because if you look at this, he averaged 4.8 yards per carry on 74 attempts last year with 354 rushing yards, okay? If he kept that pace up, he would have led the NFL in rushing yards.
It's almost a full yard more than Fournette.
Yeah, he would have led the NFL in the rushing game, okay? And also he would have been second in yards per game in the league. He would have been ahead of Gurley, ahead of Bell, ahead of Hunt. The only person he would have been behind is... I'm only pointing to you because it's your boy.
Zeke?
Yes, it's the only person he would have been behind. But just to let you know, he has, like I said, he has a better QB now and the offensive coordinator who learned a lot in the Eagles, I feel. And he's already, not for nothing, Dalvin Cook's already behind in a solid offensive line. Now, I believe losing Pat Shurmur hurts, but I still think that the offensive coordinator is going to do fine. So now it already in a better offensive line, in a solid offensive line. Latavius Murray is not going to really be taking that much touches away from him, but also if he's coming off an ACL tear for Dalvin Cook, I feel that to him taking some touches wouldn't hurt his longevity of Dalvin Cook that much. But he's going to be the bell cow. He's going to be the workhorse. So Dalvin Cook, I think, is going high, even though he only played 4 games last year. But for him to go that high for only playing 4 games is only letting you know what he could do, what he's shown us enough
talent level
that he could
he's working with.
Take over. Yeah. All right. So moving on right now from rounds 3 to 4. Some other guys that are going around in the second round, you rounded off with your Devontae Freeman, your Christian McCaffrey, LaShawn McCoy, Jerick McKinnon, and Joe Mixon, who you and I talked a lot about last week.
My boy, Joe Mixon.
And then Jordan Howard, we talked about. So moving on to rounds 3 and 4, one guy that I want to touch on and I want to mention about a lot is Darius Geis.
You have a man crush on Darius
Geis. I love
Geis.
Darius Geis. I listen.
Redskin. Ugh.
It doesn't matter when it comes to fantasy.
I know.
But Darius Geis, to me, he was ranked as the second best running back in the draft last year. He was ranked as the second best running back in the draft last year. Now, he didn't go to the second round, which is shocking. It's shocking. Okay. The second running back that was taken last year was Rashad Penny, which I don't trust him. I don't know why he was taking him. But even Madden knows that Darius Geis is the second best rookie running back because even the Madden rating, of course, Saquon Barkley got the first. Darius Geis got the second highest rookie running back rating. Rashad Penny actually was insulted and disrespected about him. I don't trust Rashad
The
Penny.
good
this
old
year.
Madden rating.
Yeah, good old Manning rating. But to talk about it, like one stat which is great about Darius Geis is that he's the only player in SEC history with 3 250-yard rushing games. That's fantastic. What I love best about Darius Geis so much is his position. Okay, he's going as RB17. He's going late in the third round. His draft position right now is 310. I love that. Okay, so for all my friends and all my leagues listening, probably getting a little tip from me or know what I'm going to probably do. But I would love it if I had like a late first round pick. I would love it to grab like a DeAndre Hopkins, and then in the second round grab myself like a Keenan Allen or a Julio Jones, and then into the third round go and grab Darius Geis as my RB1 because I think he's going to be a top 10 running back. There is nobody there that is going to take away his touches. I don't care about P. Ryan. I don't care about Rob Kelly. None of those guys are going to take his touches. Only Chris Thompson is going to take away, as a change of pace kind of player. But
Chris Thompson is going to be involved in that.
He's going to be involved. They like them. He's
sure.
still good as a pass catcher. But, Jay Gruden did say that it has been very exciting to watch Darius Geis as a pass catcher. That was one thing in college. He wasn't known to be a pass catching back. But Jay Gruden is noticing that he could catch the ball, that he has the talents. And he's going to show those talents when it comes to the real NFL games. He's going to be a solid RB1. He's going to be within the top 10. He's going as RB17. 2 stud wide receivers and Darius Geis, you're golden.
You're on board?
Yes, 100%.
I don't know. As RB1, I don't know.
I love him there.
All right, interesting. So
who do you like right now in the third and fourth rounds?
In rounds 3 and 4, Derrick Henry was interesting to me.
Who's going right after Darius Geis?
Right after Darius Geis.
As RB18.
Right. Now if you see who's going in rounds 3 and 4, it's Joe Mixon, Howard, Geis, Henry, Alex Collins, Rashard Penny, Jay Ajayi, Kenyon Drake, and Sony Michel. Now here's the thing with Derrick Henry. Once the Titans cut DeMarco Murray, like everyone automatically assumed that, this is it. Henry is going to become a stud. Maybe
For good reason.
Yeah, for good reasons. I totally understand. But they went out and signed Dion Lewis to a 4-year, $19.8 million contract.
Mm-hmm.
And now your first thoughts on Dion Lewis is what? That he's, a third down back? Right?
He could be a third down back.
Well, that's a lot of people's first impression, and that was their immediate reaction to the signing.
I mean, just to let you know real quick, I'm sorry to interrupt about Dion Lewis, is real quick, is that not for nothing, but last year, when I said that Alvin Kamara averaged 6.1 yards per carry, the only other big name, there was a couple other running backs that did, close to that, but the only next big name running back that was second to Alvin Kamara was Dion Lewis with 5 yards per carry.
And the numbers are really interesting if you really dig into them a little bit. I like Derrick Henry, but then I did a little bit more research, and like the numbers are telling me a completely different story. So last year, interesting statistic about Dion Lewis. He carried the ball 180 times. Out of those 180 carries, you want to take a guess at how many were on first and second down?
How many?
172.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's the same reaction I had. So he's gonna be in the game. He's gonna take carries away from Derrick Henry. He also ranked. This is another interesting number. He ranked inside the top 10 in the league in elusive rating. Now, elusive rating, a lot of people are probably gonna ask like what that is. It basically charts missed tackles forced by a running back by either juking the defender out of his tackle attempt, powering through the tackle, or yards after contact. And Dion Lewis ranked inside the top 10 out of 53 backs who had at least 100 carries. So what that tells me is that he's going to be on the field. He's going to take carries away from Derrick Henry. So Derrick Henry going in the fourth round, in the early fourth round. He's
going to start of the fourth round. He's good, yeah.
Yeah, I just
going
think
as running back 18.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit too high for him. That stuck out, and I think that he's just being overvalued at that point. So that's what stuck out with me from rounds 3 and 4.
Yeah, I don't hate Derrick Henry, but I don't really trust him. I distrust him more than I do trust him.
Yeah.
So,
do you think he's a high-end RB2, a low-end RB2? Like, where do you
think he's like a mid-level RB2 at high RB2 at best. At best.
Yeah, I don't have him that high. He's
At-
like a very low RB2.
Yeah, I think he's like a
fringe,
mid-level RB2.
fringe flex for me.
Yeah, no, I see. Now I agree with you again.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with you this time.
Well, we're half hour into the pod, so
Into the pod. Open the pod door. Does anybody know what that's from? You know what that's from?
open the pod door.
That's okay if you don't. It's all right.
Yeah.
Anyways, go moving on.
Wrong audience for that, Flex.
Maybe not. Sports people, movie people, you know. Moving on. So another running back that I found really interesting in this draft. So we're kind of staying right there. So I said, you know, Darius Geis going in as a late third round as RB17. Then you talked about RB18, Derrick Henry. I'm going to talk about RB19, Alex Collins. Not for nothing, like I said before, if you take like a DeAndre Hopkins and then second round go and grab yourself a Julio Jones and then grab yourself a DeAndre Hopkins and then coming back around, you take an Alex Collins as your RB2, I think it's a very, very, very solid.
I'm not mad at that at all.
Now, the name is nowhere near the most attractive. It's really not the most attractive name with Alex Collins. But like I said, he's going as the first RB in the fourth round. And he's going as RB number 17 overall. He's only 23 years old, all right? He's still really young. And yes, the truth is he still has to compete with Kenneth Dixon. They love Kenneth Dixon over there. They're loyal to Kenneth Dixon over there in Baltimore. So he has to compete with him for touches. But I do think that he's going to be the guy that takes over for Baltimore. They haven't had like a workhorse type running back since Ray Rice. And I think that he's going to be that kind of guy. He was definitely their most effective back last year. Just to give you quick numbers about him, he had a solid 4.6 carries. Yards per carry, 4.6. It's solid off 212 attempts. Okay, that places him fourth in the NFL with other running backs with at least 200 carries. Okay, that's more than Leonard Fournette. That's more than Le'Veon Bell. That's more than Shady McCoy, and more than your boy Ezekiel Elliott. Okay, that places him fourth. The only people with at least 200 carries. All right. And it also shows that he could catch the ball just as good as the pass catching back that you would assume on a team, which is Buck Allen. He could catch the ball just as well as him. He had 23 catches and he averaged 8.1 yards per catch. All right, and for a team that I feel is going to be playing from behind for most of the season, I don't think that the Ravens are going to be that good this year. To be honest with you, I mean they finished second in the division last year, but I don't think they're going to be that good this year. They're going to be playing from behind a lot, and they're going to be going to Alex Collins. I feel a lot just to pass the ball, to keep the ball moving.
Game script. We talked about it last week.
Yeah, he's going to be a solid RB2 with plenty of upside. So, like I said, if you're looking for your drafts, if you're going DeAndre Hopkins, then Julio Jones or Keenan Allen in the early second round, late third round, grab yourself a Darius Geis. In the early fourth round, grab yourself an Alex Collins. And then later on at week 17, week 16, grab yourself a championship courtesy by Flex Hit List. That's how I feel about it, my brother.
That's the trick. Alex Collins is going to lock with the championship glory this year in fantasy.
Just real quick, just to finish off this round, just because we keep moving, just to finish this off. One person I just want to mention a lot about, because I'm sure we'll probably get a lot of questions about, or people are asking themselves a lot of questions, is Kenyon Drake. Just to let you know real quick, Kenyon Drake wasn't terrible last year. He ended up as RB33 with only 6 starts, and most of those starts he split with Damian Williams. He had 32 receptions off 48 targets for 239 yards. All right, those are very solid numbers. Those are not too bad. He also had a really good 4.8 yards per carry on only 133 attempts. 4.8 yards per carry, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. So, Frank Gore's immortal. He's not going to go down.
Frank Gore.
You can't kill him. You really can't.
The Duracell battery keeps on going.
That's the Energizer Bunny.
The bunny, whatever. I know there was a battery involved somewhere.
You need to get out of that rock where you live under, start learning more about the culture of life. But anyways,
I'm a real estate broker. I don't have time for that, man.
I think Kenyon Drake is still going to be a solid running back. I don't really want to draft him because of all the other question marks, the what ifs with Frank Gore. Not for nothing. He's also playing, last year was the worst offense in the league. But another thing about Miami is that they also had the highest pass percentages because they were also playing from behind so many times. But they had the highest pass percentages of the league. And Kenyon Drake could catch the ball. But like I said, he's not going anywhere, Frank Gore. And not for nothing, they did draft his rookie RB that they like a lot, and Kalen Ballage. And I hope I said his first name.
I'm hearing a lot of buzz about that kid.
Yeah, I'm hearing a lot of good things about him too. But just to touch on Kenyon Drake, he's going to be a mystery for a while. But because of what he did last year, I think he is going to do better this year. But I'd be nervous. I'd be kind of nerve-wracking drafting him, spending, where's he going right now? Where did he go? I just lost him. Oh, he's going in the fourth round, 9th overall pick, 4.9. I'm just a little bit nervous about that.
Yeah.
All right, moving on right now to the rounds 5 through 6. Now, this is where, it starts thinking out because rounds 3 to 4 is, I guess, start thinking a little bit. Rounds 5 through 6, this is where that timer on you, if you have a timer in your league and your draft, it starts running a little close to the draft on it. This is when people start thinking, this is when people start yelling, all right, put them on the clock, get the pick, hurry up, because this is when you got to start thinking a little bit about it, all right? Who do you want to mention rounds 5 to 6? You got somebody you want to talk about?
Yeah, so, I mean, these are the rounds where you really start to build your roster and start to set yourself apart from the competition in your league. So these needless to say, they're really important rounds. Mark Ingram,
okay,
he's interesting to me because his average ADP is 5.01, end of the fourth, beginning of the fifth. Now, his production last year, he produced at an RB1 level. There's no secrets about that.
No.
He ran for 1,124 yards for 12 touchdowns. He also caught 58 balls on 71 targets for an additional 416 yards. So about 1,600 total yards last year. Now, he was the sixth highest scoring running back with 278 points in PPR formats. So, he with the suspension, he's missing 4 games. So 25% of the season is gone. So even if he, he regresses 25% off those numbers, he's still going to produce at RB2 levels. And to get RB2 level production that late, I think he's being undervalued at where he's being drafted. So that really stuck out to me. I think that, he should be going at the beginning of the third round, I would say.
He should be going to the beginning of the third round.
Let me correct that. Between the middle of the third to the beginning of the fourth is where he should be going.
He should be going there.
Yeah, that's where I think he should be going. I mean, look, he's a legit. He produced as an RB1. So to have Mark Ingram as your RB2 for 75%. He
produces an RB1 with a full 16 games.
I understand that, but let's just say he's going to be your RB2.
He's going to play 12 games.
Look, we went through this. We went through this last year with Zeke Elliott. The good thing about it is that his suspension is coming at the beginning of the year, which is if you're going to miss games, miss him at the beginning of the year. I had Zeke, and as well, a lot of people had Zeke and missed him for the most crucial points of the season. So let him serve his 4-game suspension. He'll come back fresh, and to get him, at an RB2 value, I think it's a no-brainer. Mark Ingram going way too late, in my opinion.
I still.
So where would he go then? Where
I think he's going exactly where he should be going
in the fifth round.
Yes.
Okay, so he's going. He's in the mix
now
with
Sean Payton. Go ahead. He's in the mix with.
He's in the mix with Royce Freeman, Lamar Miller, Ronald Jones, Deion Lewis, Tariq Cohen, Tevin Coleman, Marlon Mack, and Kerryon Johnson.
Yeah.
I think that's a little late for him.
He's missing 4 games, and Alvin Kamara is going to be the lead back. Now, he's going to split carries marking. Granted, I 100% because Sean Payton is going to do that. That's the way Sean Payton is going to operate. But he's at the end of the day, he's still going to miss 4 games. I don't think he's going to produce RB1 numbers. I feel he's not as good. Is he as good as Le'Veon Bell?
That's 25%.
Is he as good as Le'Veon Bell?
No.
So Le'Veon Bell's the type of guy that could. Is he as good as Zeke?
No.
So those are the type of guys that could miss 4 games.
He's in that tier right after that, though.
He's the only. I do not believe that.
Okay,
he's not one of those guys that can miss 4 games and then could play RB1.
If he plays a full season, do you take him ahead of Kareem Hunt?
I would because I don't trust Kareem Hunt.
Okay, if he plays a full season, do you take him ahead of?
But nobody else would. Nobody else would take Kareem Hunt like that.
Hold on, Leonard Fournette.
No.
If he plays a full 16, you don't take him. Delvin Cook.
No.
Melvin Gordon.
No.
Oh yeah, so then we totally disagree on Mark Ingram. I just think that where he's being drafted, that's.
I get it that it's value there, but you can't say he's going to be. He's not the type of player to give you RB1 numbers when you're missing 4 games off the bat.
No, but he could be a solid RB2.
Yeah, but you're telling me like he should go like 3rd round, like RB1. I don't think he should.
No, the beginning of the 3rd round is a little early for him, but the end of the 3rd round, early 4th. Is perfect. I have no problem grabbing him. I think he's going a full round after.
I think it's even better for where he's going now. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think he's a good pick at the 5th round, maybe a little bit later in the 5th, but not. I don't. The expectations of him giving you RB1 status, I think, is too much to talk about.
There are certain drafts in where he's going as high as 3.03, as late as 6.06.
Well, go buy them a beer and hang out with them,
So,
then, Charlie, and they'll
yeah.
be your friends. Another guy I want.
Mark Ingram. Trust me.
One guy I want to talk about in this this round real quick, I just want to touch on is Marlon Mack. Now, one thing I want to say about Marlon Mack, I was a firm believer of him being a sleeper. Looking more into it, I still think he's a sleeper, but not to be like a breakaway sleeper. I see him as like a good solid flex, maybe with RB2 upside possibly. But, one big thing that stood out for me a lot from Marlon Mack, his average ADP right now is going as the first pick in the 6th round, is that he was second in the league in percentages of runs that went for either less or no gains. And that was 32.2. So that's saying out of every 10 carries that he had, just about 3 of them, just a little more than 3 of those carries, whatever, 3 of those carries out of every 10 went for either no gains or losing yards. Second in the league for that. All right. Now, he wasn't even the starting back on the Colts last year. Frank Gore was the starting back for that. And so when you had those opportunities, you had to take advantage of them, and he did not. So he had those, I think if he would have given him more work, that he probably would have been first in that percentage. But, and also they did draft 2 running backs, the Colts, and they like that guy Hines a lot. But I do think that Marlon Mack is going to be better this year. 1, because they beefed up their offensive line by drafting Quentin Nelson with a really high pick. I love Quentin Nelson. 2, Andrew Luck, I feel, is going to be back. And 3, T.Y. Hilton's going to explode out. So I think he's going to be better this year. I think it's a really smart pick for where he's going in the 6th round, because everybody else is going around the 6th round. I don't think you get that much value out of. But you think he's going to be a solid, smart pick?
Luck is still a question mark.
Yeah,
it's
but I think Luck is going to do better. And also, if you do have your 6th round as your keeper round, great pick to have, Kerryon Johnson. That's not much to really say about it, but all I know is that I think Kerryon Johnson is going to be, because he could be a 3-down back in the future, but as a keeper, if you're playing a keeper league and he's your keeper round, because the keeper rounds do generally start about like 6th, anywhere between 6th and 8th rounds for most leagues, but he's going as 6.11 as his average ADP. 6'11". So Kerryon Johnson, somebody I really like also, especially as late as he's gone. Moving on right now to finish up, because we're going to do 10 rounds altogether, is rounds 7 through 10. So we're going to wrap those up real quick, because then it starts getting really thin around there in running backs, okay? I mean, if you look through 7 through 8, there's only about because Chris Thompson, Rex Burkhead, Carlos Hyde, Isaiah Crowell,
Marshawn Lynch.
Marshawn Lynch,
Carlos Hyde.
Yeah, Marshawn Lynch, I skipped over there. Sorry about that. So it gets kind of thin. Marshawn Lynch is another guy I like, but just somebody that you like also in the 7th, 10th rounds, right?
Yeah, I really like Chris Thompson.
Chris Thompson?
Yeah, he's being drafted 7.06. I think that it's a potential for a great flex option for him. He's going to be heavily involved in the passing game. We know that Alex Smith loves to check down. He caught 39 balls last year on 54 targets. And I just see that number going up. I think that he's going to easily have at least 70 targets this year in this offense. Mm-hmm. So for that type of back, as shifty as he is, as explosive as he is once he has the ball in his hands, 70 targets, I'm on board, man.
I hear you for as late as he's going.
Chris Thompson. I mean, I know Geis is your guy, and you're big on Geis, but Chris Thompson's going to take some touches away from him.
Yeah, he's going to be a change of pace kind of guy, but I just think Chris, because they love him there, but I think.
But he's not just a change of pace guy. They put him in like in the 4-minute offense, in the 2-minute offense. It's going to be Chris Thompson.
They put him, yeah. But I'm saying, but they put him in, to move the ball quicker down the line. Mm-hmm. But also he had a lot more opportunities because of the fact that guys like Samaje Perine and Rob Kelly all got hurt, and all the running backs over there all got hurt. And they weren't even like that productive. I mean, Samaje Perine had a little bit of run towards the end of the year, but they weren't all that productive. But but I love Darius Geis for that offense. But I do agree with you, that's a good pick going as late as he is. Just talk about in general, because these guys, it's kind of interesting that they're all going so close together. Jamal Williams, Aaron Jones, and Ty Montgomery. Okay, Jamal Williams is going as RB 38 right now with his ADP of 8.5. Excuse me. Aaron Jones is going as RB 40. 8.09, and Ty Montgomery is going as RB42 with 9.3. They're all going around that range. Now, here's a pretty cool fact about Aaron Jones. Just to let you know about Aaron Jones. He had only 81 carries. 8 of those 81 carries went for at least 15 yards or more. Okay? Mm-hmm. He's the only player in the NFL. The only other so it means like, sorry, hold on. My stats a little bit wrong here. So just to let you know, that means for a run of 15 yards or more on every 10.1 carries. Mm-hmm. The only other player who did more than that was Alvin Kamara, with every 9.2 carries, one of his runs would be for at least 15 yards. So for Aaron Jones, for every 10 carries, it's at least one of those is going to be for 15 or more yards. Now, I know he's suspended for the 2 games, but I think when he comes back, he's going to be that dominant guy. Ty Montgomery, I think, is kind of fading out. I mean, he wasn't even a running back to begin with. He was only there. He was a wide receiver, and they only put him there to, like, kind of just take over. But he wasn't a running back to begin with. I think he's going to fade out. Jamal Williams is going to do well, I feel. But when Aaron Jones comes back, and they even said it too in the Packers, they want to take that Sean Payton approach. Talking so much about Alvin Kamara here in the show. They want to take that Sean Payton approach where they split up the carries and divide them out. But yeah, I still feel that Aaron Jones is going to come over and take it out.
I mean, look, just from the eye test alone, last year he was the best running back in that backfield.
Yeah, absolutely. To take him in the 8th round as a nice pick late in the 8th round, like when you start like looking at defenses maybe a little bit after that and quarterbacks, Aaron Jones is a great player to have on your bench that I really, really am big up on. All right, so we're almost out of time over here on the show. We're almost going to be finished. So just to let y'all know, what we're gonna do for every show is that we finish it out with questions. So remember, Charlie, every show that we do, you don't see these questions, I don't see these questions. So we're gonna finish this out with questions. You got a question you want to ask me?
I do.
So go ahead, you start off, Charlie.
You're the superhero guy.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Not a superhero.
Not a superhero.
Oh.
That's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
Who is the best Batman?
In the movies?
In the movies. Who played the best Batman?
Christian Bale.
Christian Bale?
Yeah.
All right, I can see
Wait,
that.
so you've seen the Batman movies, but not the Marvel movies?
Yeah. I mean, Batman's better.
What?
Let's not make this a discussion about Marvel.
You just listen. Batman's cool. Don't get me wrong, but you just said a DC character is better than my Marvel. Do you not see the beginning of the show, the intro? It says what I am. I am a Marvel geek / gamer.
Oh, so I just struck a chord.
You just said that Batman's better than Marvel.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that people agree with you. I love Batman. I know people agree with
Well,
you.
look, I don't-
But
I
I
don't-
act the same way.
I don't have a strong take either way, so don't get offended. So Christian Bale is the best Batman.
Christian Bale is the best Batman.
Yeah, better than Michael Keaton.
Yeah, well, Michael Keaton. One thing I used to always say too, when you watch all the other movies, especially even the terrible ones by Joel Schumacher, which were awful, Batman and Robin and Batman Forever, I always felt that Val Kilmer was a great Batman and George Clooney was a great Bruce Wayne, and Michael Keaton was fantastic at playing both of them.
Both.
But
So is Clooney the best
Bruce Wayne.
Bruce Wayne?
Clooney was the best Bruce Wayne, and Val Kilmer was a great Batman. But to play them both, so you got to say the best one is Christian Bale, definitely.
Interesting.
I still can't believe that you said that Batman was better than Marvel. Yes. See, there's the fans telling you that.
All right, what do you got for me?
I got a good one for you, especially after what you just said to me. How did it feel the other day? Not the other day, excuse me, but the last time, one time we met up. How did it feel losing that game of pool to me?
That was pretty devastating.
That
was pretty devastating.
Now,
'Cause I didn't think you were that good at pool, to be honest with you.
Now, I told you before, I can't get mad at you because you actually thought you were going to beat me. But then I had to, get you back into reality.
I was undefeated in my office for a while.
And no longer. But who defeated you? The Giants fan. The Giants fan who loves Marvel, and you, the Batman DC guy who doesn't even know superheroes, but just goes towards DC and Batman, and the Cowboys fan lost to the Giants fan. It's foreshadowing for the rest of the future.
Listen, everyone gets lucky every once in a while.
Yeah, lucky. Yeah, right. I was.
But you never came for a rematch though. So let's get a rematch on the docket.
I won. I have to ask you for a rematch. I won.
Yeah, what I'm saying, give me a chance to win.
Oh, I'll give you all the chances you want. It's not going to happen. We could record it, put it on the show. We could put it on the YouTube if you want. Wear your Cowboys jersey. I'll wear my Giants jersey. I'll come all Giants out, and I'll show you how we do this.
Sounds good.
You got another question for me?
Good. So football question.
We'll make it the last question. We got to keep going.
We'll make this one the last question.
All right.
Who do you feel is going to be the number one running back out of the NFC East this year?
Saquon Barkley. And I would not be surprised if it was Ezekiel Elliott. The reason I don't think it's going to be Ezekiel Elliott, because I'll tell you realistically, and I'll be realistic with you. This is not being biased.
No, not at all.
No. I'm being 100% sincere. It's really me not being biased. that offense is not going to be good. Now, the offensive line is not what the offensive line we known of it to be before. It's still a good offensive line. Zeke is a freak of nature. He's a beast. He could do it all. Dak Prescott is
Why do you think the offensive line is not going to be as good?
Because it's already not as good. It's already just not as good as it was before. It's not the same offensive line as of a few years ago. All how injuries that they had. Now listen,
they haven't lost anyone.
It's their injuries.
They lost a few backups.
Injuries they had, and it hasn't been as productive. But it's still going to be a good offensive line. Zeke's still going to do good. Dak Prescott is not a great throwing back. He relies more on his legs. You don't have any wide receivers. You don't have any wide receivers at all. So I believe it's Barkley. I am not surprised if it ends up being Zeke. If it ends up being Zeke, I will not be shocked.
So you would take Barkley ahead of Zeke?
In real life drafts, possibly no. I think Barkley at the end is going to do better. But that's not to say that I wouldn't draft Zeke over Barkley in real life drafts, to be honest with you.
All right.
All right. So that's about all the time that we have here for today for the show. It's episode 2. It's in the books.
It's in the books.
Yep, that's all we have here for this time of the Hear the Show. Once again, you can subscribe to us on YouTube. You can subscribe to us on Spotify. Subscribe to us on Stitcher, on Google Play. Did I miss anything out there besides iTunes? On
iTunes, missing the most important one.
Missing most important one. Once again, party people, tune into our next show, which we're going to film this Saturday, actually.
This Saturday, yeah.
Yeah, just in a couple
Short
more days.
turnaround.
We're going to keep giving you more information. Once again, please call us up anytime. You see the number right there on your screen. Once again, shout out to Gotham Podcast Studios. Shout out to Progress for making the music for us. And Charlie, say goodbye to the people because we're going to be out of here.
Bureau, take it easy. We'll see you next time.
Peace, party people.